Awesome. So we are online, and I just shared links to my community people. Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome. Welcome back for day 35. Awesome. So we are online, and episode number 35 of Unlocking EQ Brain Skills for Busy Moms out there. And emotional intelligence is measured and it becomes emotional quotient. So emotional quotient is not just needed for only moms. It is also needed for irrespective of any age, any gender, any profile. But since this series is dedicated to busy moms out there, um, and also I'm on a mission to help 1 lakh women to achieve freedom from stress, time constraints, and financial challenges by boosting their emotional intelligence and money intelligence. So, on that angle, my series will be dedicated to busy moms out there. And today's episode is specifically dedicated to all those moms who are juggling with, family and outside responsibilities, and moms of toddlers trying to, get their feet on a creative mind. Okay. So this episode is for you to enhance your both logic and creativity to ensure that you can unleash your imagination power during your parenting itself. Okay, it's a wonderful time, golden time for any parent from watching a child grow. So before 7 8 years, before which the toddler time to coming to that preteen is the golden time, and after that they become very independent, and the system will make them, education system and society will make them very very you know getting geared up for the society and career advancement. But our parenting role is an evolving, it doesn't stop. But the golden time is that period where you watch them literally grow inch by inch, and also you know their wisdom and brilliance will be shown. We will be the first person who can receive all that. But at the same time, we also find ourselves evolving, right? All of a sudden, you have there will be a lot of changes, hormonally, biologically, as well as outside environment. You have another human being to take care, very small and tender, and you just cannot apply the same rules what you are expected to with people around you. So we ourselves take a transformation in our life. So it is both the journey, right? It is not just for the child. We are also growing as a mother, as a dad, whoever is as a parent taking care of the child. We also grow. Similarly, we grow our creative brain also, because if you are a parent, if you the moment you become a parent, you're a naturally you're bound to figure out how to entertain your how to engage your kids, right? Whether you like it or not. Especially with boys, you will end up running, chasing behind them, right? Girls, you will end up yapping and talking and talking. Sometimes I still remember me and my husband used to beg my daughter to sleep. All the more we were working in shifts, and she also doesn't go for sleep regularly on time. It was a tough stage for us, but we miss that. At this point of time, we go back and miss those times, right? So this is the time that your brain power also builds up. Okay, and you need to sustain it. But today's episode is to give you make it more easier in order to understand how you can build um you know quick creativity boost. Of course, by now, if you're a toddler, you must toddler mom, you must have invented a lot of stuffs. Like you must be on top of your list. Okay, if it's one or two children more, then you're already a pro there. Okay, in this episode you will see how your brain can enable you to approach that logic and creativity together, so that it eases you up. That is the aim. Okay. Second thing is how you can use these brain skills to bring that joy to that family. Also, not dismissing your well-being also, because it is important. If you can take care of yourself, if you are happy, your entire family can feel that, can sense that, and it is important to pass it on to them. And you will also find, rediscover your own, inner artist, right? Your imagination will kick in, right? Already you may be a pro now, but in this episode, you will get additional tips as well. And if you really found it useful, please don't stop with, having all these awareness with you. Just share it with somebody who needs this most. Maybe there is a young mom out there who still needs this kind of an awareness. In fact, the series itself is dedicated to enable that left brain and right brain approaches towards any particular skill or a talent. So I'm sure it is a new fresh perspectives for anybody. So emotional intelligence itself is, something which is more demanded right now, because there is mental health pandemic is the current pandemic that we are in, and moms needs this more. Okay, that is why I dedicate the series to busy moms. So all these talents that we will be discussing here for the 100 days, it will definitely be helpful for any busy moms out there, whether they are stay at home or working or a business entrepreneur. Please do pass it on to them. Okay, somewhere or the other they'll get their bulb on awareness, and then they'll be able to apply that in their life. That being said, I'm just going to share my screen, and you will let me know in the comments it is visible and all perfect. Okay, so we are on 35th episode, and we are here to unleash your imagination as a busy mom. All right. Now, what are creativity hacks? Simple strategies allowing busy moms to incorporate creativity into their daily routines despite time rest constraints. Okay. So, left brain approach and the right brain approach is something that we will approach. This is the entire series is made for that, where it is not enough to only have um, only the creativity going on, and suppose you don't know how to structure, how to plan it ahead. uh, if you have watched these series before, we must have started with many other skills in different angles, right? We started with resilience, as to how to approach logical resilience, emotional resilience, proactivity also, and problem solving skills, emotional agility, emotional insight, and how are we approaching all these skill set for a parent, uh, for um, for for an entrepreneur, for a stay-at-home mom, full-time person, full-time homemaker, and what about the career people, who is also leading high-stake professionals, who that is important, that you need to have that differentiation going on, so that when it is time for you to take the emotional data, because you're dealing with children, they express a lot, right? They keep emoting. Okay. In fact, emotional intelligence came into my life effectively after my child was born. One, we also go through certain changes in ourselves. Life takes over, and those events will insist upon something very important going on in us. Okay, those are emotions and feelings erupting, especially after delivery. Mom goes through a lot of changes, right? It is important to be aware of those feelings exploding in you, and how would you express it fully. And it's the same way when your child is born, right? When the moment they are able to talk, and they are able to communicate with you, they'll endlessly communicate, right? At least to a certain age, even the boys does it. It's common for the kids to keep communicating with you. They keep expressing what they want. May not have that right amount of words and diction in them, but emotionally they are literate. Okay, how are we able to understand that? It depends on our literacy rate on emotions. And awesome. Trust me, we are online. Okay, so and I'm going to just mute it. Trust me when I say this, it is equally important for you to be also, on 1 minute. Yeah, it is equally important for you to also be really good with emotional languages. You will have to be emotionally fluent. And in this series, apart from being, emotionally literate, how do you approach and apply your, brain skills? Okay, it doesn't stop with only being reading, the ability of reading your emotions. It is also to do with how effectively are you able to manage the emotions within you, and so you'll be able to take the tantrums from your children and embrace the life journey along with. And most importantly, how are you driving your emotion and the child emotions to a particular direction? All right. So as it is, we are our children's guidepost, big time, right? Because they model us, they look up at us. So we are the first guidepost for them. How are we channeling each and every emotion that we go through? They are able to pick that sense, whether they know it or not. They are able to feel it, and they will emote you back. So it is all the more important for you to be aware of what is happening within you, and what kind of emotions are you giving it to them, and where are you both channelizing the emotion. All right. Classic example is, how can you take your logic brain approach. How can you structure any activity within that particular timing, organizing whatever is needed, and planning to create that, execute that activities. Okay. This can be demonstrated in each and every task, day in and day out. As the child grows, up to 10 years, we are constantly on the chase, right? Every day is actually important. And their brain is sparking with neurons, like sparking with imagination. They need creativity. They just cannot go with mundane. Routine cannot be set into, toddler mind very quickly. But at the same time, it is the time where the brain can rewire very easily. So it is up to us as to how we shape their both logic and creative brain. And first of all, we should be able to manage that really well. Now, when it comes to creative brain in ourselves, how can you approach that? Because anyway, it is helping you with spontaneity, and it is going to help you with creativity using your imagination. There are many things that you can do, art or plays, nature. There are many strategies we will be discussing. But while you want to do the creative part of it, are you able to also structure it? Do you have that time blocking done? Are you able to organize it really well? Organize not just for the child, also organize within you. All right. And then the planning and execution becomes easy. So, this is the approach that we will take in this episode, and also looking at key hacks for you. Now, the message is, you're going to tap into that potential of unlocking that creativity in you using simple hacks. And you're going to bring joy because it allows you to be fully on it, at the same time backed up by the logical brain approach, so that you're not overdoing, you're not burning yourself out. Very, very important for busy moms. And how are you doing is only taking small steps. Okay, on that note, process of advantages of creativity hacks is, because it can be quick and easy. Hacks are very simple to implement, requiring minimal time and resources only. Okay. Engages children because it encourages fun creative learning moments for kids, and it is going to give you that stress relief. Because if you can unwind along with them, if you can just roll on the floor, play with them, laugh it out, it is definitely going to give you a break that you needed. And it is improving your efficiency. Using creativity to solve problems can also make the household task very efficient. And some more benefits is, you're going to foster connection. If you can build stronger bonds between parents and children through shared activities, boost confidence, by successfully creating projects that can, boost both the moms and children's confidence. I remember in my classic example is, we had taken her to many, sports. We made her explore entire elementary schooling. We made her explore everything, whatever she wants to do outdoor. Almost 8 to 9 skill set. Okay, whether it is trekking, that is rock climbing, or skating, or bowling, or many things, hiking, cycling, martial arts for now, and even hands work like painting. Obviously, the arts had come in earlier stage. Crocheting, something to do with her, algorithm also. The math also has to come because the design is needing her to really be well within that steps. Okay, that is important. Algorithm right now at this point of time, she creates her own algorithm. But when she started, she needed to adapt, right? Both the left brain and right brain was continuously working. And then essentially we went up to narrowing her skill set based on the time limit that she had, because the moment they get into the mid school, their time is crunched. So after that it is narrowing, but the point here is to explore everything, whatever is feasible. As a parent, how much you can expand yourself, your knowledge, your expertise, your outreach, money invest, time investment, effort, everything, like whatever is possible. If you can just make it broader for the child to explore what is needed. And if it's one or two child, there could be pros and cons attached to it, because one child may be skilled at something else, and then it pulls over your time and effort. So it is best to split that responsibility, right? But maximum give them the necessary exposure. Thereby what is happening is they are able to creatively pick up any of those skills and expertise and solve their problems. And about you, when you can explore along with them, if you can also participate, there are many skills that I have learned, by making her go to swimming classes. I've learned the strokes by just observing. And similarly, crocheting. Sometimes I really wanted to try the crochet, but then somewhere I think the the calculations are very, very. I seriously wonder how she was able to get those calculations at a very young age. But it was really tough for me. I really have to sit on it, dedicated time. But about let's say she's playing a violin. In her school, it is expected to pick up a elective. So I can also start playing. In fact, the teachers say you'll have to learn and go and teach somebody so that your learning becomes even more reinstilled. So she comes home and teaches me. I just start playing. So you can learn by just observation or playing along with them. All right. Then it is also enhancing your problem solving skill, because in the heat of the run, you will not have find to spend time dedicatedly for creativity. You'll have to make use of the time that you're spending for your kids. Even I have noticed many moms, while they are attending the classes, extracurriculum classes for their children, they're also learning along with the other moms out there. Because if it is going to be a continuous 1 year project of attending any extracurricular activity, it is that time and effort, for you to go and drive and drop the child, sit there, wait there, and then pick the child and come. By the time you're losing much of time, so the moms comes over there and picks up the common expertise and start working on it. So I've seen mom knitting there, sometimes doing a puzzles, reading a book, having a healthier competition, book club people, sit together. By the time the kids finish their classes, these moms also finish their sessions. So you can explore as much as you want it, but then make sure that you are driving into some purpose. Okay, that way you're organizing your logic brain and also making use of that planning and execution to create something really creative. Okay. Then about disadvantages of creativity hacks. So it takes planning, right? Why would you say disadvantage? Maybe it has some restrictions. Some creativity hacks require setting up separate time to organize. I still remember, the lady in this picture is doing some project work, right? I still remember how many days and nights, we as a parent sat near her, and then we did that project. Of course, she was the one who was who's supposed to have a hands-on, we will only help her, but then we will eventually sit with her to make sure that it is closed. But back in my childhood time, uh, we were never the one who did it. Most of the times, uh, I never bothered my parents. Sometimes I don't do it. I skip it. But where there is no skipping, you will have to do it is something that we always do it as a group, because individually sometimes you may be stuck with the understanding of the problem, and how do you go about it. So the teacher themselves will split it so that the parents are not disturbed, neither the student is not stuck. Okay, but again, this happened when we got into mid school, but then the elementary school projects were always dummy ones. You all know, you may be smiling now, how did you manage to do your science projects and all that, right? So trial and error is also there. Not every hack will work for every child and situation. Risk of overcommitment is also there. Juggling creativity with already full schedule might feel really overwhelming. Potential disruptions. Spontaneous creative activities can cause disruption to planned schedules. So not always spontaneous activity will work. But being a toddler mom, you should always be ready for both, right? Back of your mind, you should know the planned schedules. You just cannot miss the appointments. At the same time, you should allow some fun time, spontaneous fun. Important of this, why do we have to have a creativity hacks is because if it is not developed, mom, the parents can miss that bonding opportunity and feel overwhelmed by daily routines. It is those out of the, box thinking activities, those memories stays evergreen in us, right? Sometimes there will be storms here. Okay. So we wouldn't be able to go outdoor. We'll have to do everything indoor. So we might go to our patio and then start making grill, right? Using all that campfire, stoves. So, many times we have made it and then we relished it uh, during the rains and storms. And sometimes we made her learn how to grill the recipes. So that stays still evergreen in her memory and both of our memory. Similarly for outdoor stuffs, something that it it reminds it has to kick that adventure spirit. At the same time, it has to be out of the routine, so that way the brain also takes a break and it stays fresh. So creativity hacks can add to moments of joy, fun, and connection, even in busy schedule. But not necessarily that you have to really plan only for those outdoor. It can also be a spontaneous weekend, stuffs. Or every day there could be some disruptions can happen, so you can initiate the spontaneity there. Okay, but if you can have it planned, nothing else, nothing nothing better than that. But we'll have to give in for the unplanned events as well. But statistically, if you see, if you can dedicate 5-10 minutes daily as a creative habits, okay, it's like if you can create habitually, being working on that creative hacks, then it is going to give you significant increase of well-being, and it is going to reduce the stress in you basically. See, for child, they will not be differentiation, right? But for you, you're stepping out of the routine. That itself is a good refreshment. Okay. Who can benefit? Stay at home, working moms, and entrepreneurs. So tell me where else, how can you apply this? This is where it is getting interested. So these are some hacks that you can take a note of it. First of all, where you can apply. First is applying in general parenting. Bath time learning, okay? Using the waterproof letters to teach new words during bath time. And then bedtime stories. We all do this, so I'm just going to skim through it so that you can start taking a note of variety of hacks that we will discuss. Bedtime stories, creatively, collaborate all those stories with your child before bed, okay? Chores charts. So, we all do this, right? Designing a fun visual based chores like having a magnetic board or pin board. If pin is a little harmful, you'll find the user friendly the baby stuffs, and you can ask them to pin it up as and when they complete the chores. Okay, they are only going to score If you have 2, 3 kids, then it is ideal for them to do it. Okay, you're going to use your stickers or markers or drawings, and there are funny animated boards also. Okay, very affordable, but yet it is visually aided. When you step into the grocery, that is the most chaotic time, right? Especially having 2, 3 children and getting into a grocery store every other week is something very cumbersome. Okay, so you can plan your grocery picking like creating the fun scavenger hunt. Okay, this could be the easiest one and very educative also. So every other day they will discover something new and they will get used to it. They might even help you pick up the necessary, groceries from the same apparel. I mean, the same aisle. So one, they are going to give you that helping hand, and second things, they are also learning what are the vegetables your family has to intake and what kind of groceries are available. They can even start reading the labels slowly. So the moment you see, reading label is another education that we have to bring it within ourselves and also to our children. So make them identify the common chemical names and what do they have to look for it. Okay, provided you have little more time and patience with that, and have your children find them different foods during different shopping time, seasonal shopping time. So in case you are going for a summer, then you will have to ask them to pick up the right kind of foods what's needed for summer. That way you can keep yourself engaged and then have that fulfillment of having given them that education. And you're going to reward them also. Every other brain, whether it is your brain or your child brain needs rewards. Like brain needs gratification. Okay, as long as we are not making it instant gratification, but there needs to be a reward for your brain. The brain rewards and all that we have discussed in the previous episodes. Okay, it is not the reward in terms of monetary alone. There are many ways you can celebrate and reward your brain. All right. Then comes creativity in family bonding. So you're going to do a do-it-yourself craft night. If it is going to be a weekend or some school holidays in between, so you're going to have that craft night made. Okay. Um, if you really have any skill, particularly to you, I mean, if your unique skill is there, you can make them learn. Okay. Family recipe creation also. So if you can innovate a new recipe, having them do it and name it also. That's the best part of it. Ask them to name it. Okay, backyard adventures we just spoke, like either using a patio or your backyard, putting some theme. Of course, if you have necessary time and bandwidth, investment of time and effort and money is needed, accordingly you can choose. But then these are strategies that can work really well. Okay, these are collective strategies. These are not the only ones. But I'm sure there are many moms out there, they already do this and they have multiple options for them. But if you are already having something like this working for you, I'm going to ask you to do a small favor. Just hang on. I'll let you know. And how do you creatively household manage your household items? So one, if you can reward your children for completing the chores. Okay, if you have that habit, in our family we don't instill that simply because we want the chores to be part of their everyday's life. Okay, we don't want to exclude chores and say if only with the rewards the chores can be applied. So that didn't set well also with our family as a between me and my husband and as a family value. So but I have noticed my own daughter coming and sharing her friends that they even got a mobile phone at this point of time in mid school. It is allowed here, so the kids can buy their mobile phone, so they collect money, the pocket money which is being given to them for completing the chores, and they buy stuffs for themselves. So that's a noble thing. Okay, it gives that child literacy on finance, like in terms of saving money, earning money, and spending also. Okay, that way it'll be useful. And declutter game. Turn decluttering into a fun sorting game with music and prizes. Okay, because once you open that puzzle, sometimes we get stagnated, we get irritated, all that will come, the frustration will come, specifically for any board game. One, it goes for ever and ever and ever. Second thing, something can happen and then it just explodes. So many times we have tried. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, it explodes. So if you can add some element like music, definitely work. That is why I have written it here. And if there are toddlers, if there are two, three children playing, then maybe you can announce some prizes. So that can also, motivate them to keep going. And meal planning art. So involve kids in meal planning, not just planning, also serving meal, preparing the dinner table and also clean the dinner table. Okay. That is something that you can bring practice during their toddler time itself. If you can, we are making them, independently eat, but at the same time, how I how are we inculcating the habits of not just planning meals. You can even ask your kids what do they want to have and how do they want to plan it. What kind of ingredients would they even make if they have to, plan for their. I mean, you can customize the plan with them. But apart from that, if you can also instill the value system of serving meals to others on a regular basis in a dinner table setup, and also be able to clean their own tables, their own plates and tables. So that something that we can bring it, that not only it may not be fun, but it will have that satisfaction once they have done it neatly well. Once they have this habit of doing it, then you might want to reward them, to say that, to encourage them to keep going. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how your left brain and right brain is going to help you approach this creativity in your parenting. Okay, so first is you need to creatively take care of yourself. How do you do that? You're going to take 5 minutes to journal, sketch while you're going to have a coffee. So, how all these creative hacks, you just cannot have separate dedicated time, right? You may be running around with the regular routines. So, what you will do is you are going to journal or list down 5-10 minutes in a day. Okay, and then listen to creative podcast. There are podcasts happening on YouTube, there are a lot of videos. um, Pay attention to that and see what are the benefits and what could be the roadblocks and what are the options that you can do it. Okay, and then spend 10 minutes before bed reflecting through the art of writing. So it is very important. Creativity doesn't come just like that. Okay, if you can dedicate it 5-10 minutes like this, and also journaling on your reflection of your day and your emotional status. So it is not just for preparing for children, it is also something that you can reflect on your day, like how did it go and how are you feeling. So the more you start writing about your own feeling, your own emotional state, did something bother you, or did something work well for you? How was your emotional state? What were your different feelings at different point of time? If you can have a track of it and have a self check-in, that will help you emotional well-being as well. Okay, that is self-care for moms. And then time blocking for creativity. If you can plan, schedule short bursts of creativity throughout the work, that will definitely help you. You're going to prepare that materials in advance for quick access and stick to that schedule. Okay. Again, it is not something, that even the children mind, the brain cannot be contained. Okay. They go everywhere. So it is, challenging for the moms also to figure out something which is working. So you don't have to worry. I mean, the child itself will be distracted. Okay. So it all is required is 5-10 minutes of a particular activity. For that, you're going to plan it and block your time. You're going to turn your routine into play. So you're going to have a superhero cleanup. Kids pretend to be superheroes while picking up toys, laundry basketball. Oh my God. I still remember how we did making sorting laundry into a fun basketball style game. Okay. So you can design something mentally also and then see how it can work for you. Then dance dusting, so put a music and fun when there is a cleaning day at home. Really, music really helps all of us come together. Okay, and creating a do it yourself space, that is, it worked for my daughter. And when we started noticing that is during the mid school is when, after she transitioned from elementary to mid school, We're trying to inculcate her independent activities. One, there are loads of books and lot of task has come up to their school life. It is very important to have it organized. Second thing is, I wanted to really know how she wants to organize her space. Okay, first of all, we were not even prepared, or we didn't believe that she could do it. Not just because she's not a obeying person, not for that, but we want to understand how she wants to create her own space. So w- at one point of time, we said, okay, this is your dedicated space, and you may choose to do however you want to organize, and make sure that you are able to pick those books from that same place. So it was a matter of 1 hour, and when we came in, we were really surprised. We were surprised not just to look the organized space, but also some add-ons. Okay, now, one may argue that this can happen with girls because they have that patience and they have that. That is why I picked up the elementary to mid school kids, because maybe in elementary they still don't have that sensitiveness towards keeping their space intact and all that. But when they come to mid school and preteen, it is demanded from them. So it is ideal somewhere we have to start, and it is best to start as early as possible. There are kids I've seen in elementary school itself, like even as a toddler, they're very organized, right? So it is too much to expect from the child. But if you can create a do it yourself space, so if you can tell the child that this is your space, and you do however you want to fabricate it, and keep it organized. Okay, so if you can create that space for you also, that you pick up the necessary creativity activities, the materials for that creative activities from that place. So either ways it will work. One, asking the child to create their space, and you also create your space, so that your brain doesn't go looking for stuffs. Okay, make sure that you keep the things very organized at that place, and then only work on stuffs which is needed your spontaneity. So if you can organize the supply areas and make it very inviting, that will help you, not the child. But for the child, let them have their own creativity, however they want to dedicate that space. But in case you don't have that affordability of having too many different spaces, you can collaborate with your child to say, okay, this is the space that we will do mystical things, and we will try to hide or do whatever we want during our playtime. So can we both create together how we both want the space to be? We will not allow anybody else to come in. But if you have 2 3 children, again, that's going to be a different challenge. So it's best that collaborate with your kids to understand what they need. Accordingly you create. Okay, parenting is tough, but it is fun. Nature as inspiration. That's the best thing. I mean, if you look at this picture, this itself will talk for a lot of us, because the more you take your children to the nature, the more they connect with nature, they will be grounded, and their curiosity level rises. So it is important for them to touch the ground, keep their hands in dirt, and start exploring, gathering all the new natural items like leaves, rocks. I still remember I used to have a huge collection of rocks, different various sizes and different looks, and different you know what do you call, different shining stones. Um, it will still be there, sometimes with painting and sometimes without painting, and it has to be there, so it has to be kept till she grows. So that thank god she didn't bring anything else, natural and dissolvable stuffs. The rocks were okay, but she can even paint on that rock, and then she decorates that. Create use collected items like craft projects and nature inspired art. Okay, you can create an album of asking them to collect different shades of leaves, and then ask them to even name it. Where did they even find it, or something that they can relate, and create it as a album book to show them once they grow. You can display this also, showcase nature inspired creations in your room. For example, I gave you the rock thing. Good that she picked up only rocks, and rocks, I told you how you can fabricate and keep it as a decorative items also. and then repurposing your household items. So this is going to be a midbrain. So when we talk about repurposing, cereal box theater, these are all what are you're not going to buy anything. Okay, the theme is, without buying, how can they bring creativity? Whatever is available, that is called repurposing. So use all the cereal box, to make theaters on socks. The children grows very quickly, so their socks, their clothes can be used to preparing dolls. And cardboards, right? If you I mean everybody goes through that era of making their houses, building their houses with whatever their they have it on hand. So we all go through that. We have been through that as a child, so will be our child's memory also, the brain power also. So give that material, whatever is available within your house space, give them to think and build based on that. Okay, you can give them ideas too. Now if you see, starting from here, this is your right brain, and time blocking is your left brain. Turning routine into play, that is going to be your right brain, because you're creating the mundane into creativity. So that will be the right brain approach. And creating a do-it-your space is collaborative approach. Okay, I just spoke to you how they can create their own space, and you can create your space, or combination of both the ideas together. So that will be the both the brains working there. And nature as inspirations, clear shot is your right brain activity. Then repurposing is your midbrain, because you're going to logically use the resources with the limited number of resources that your child is going to have, and based on that they're going to build it. Okay, now this is an last but interesting part in this session, where we will pick up a personality whom you can relate it. Okay, today's um, person is Twinkle Khanna, as an actress, Indian actress, and she's an upcoming personality on the social media, and she is also a best-selling author also. The point here is, um, she displays herself in parenting, establishing herself as an expertise in parenting using wisdom and humor. Okay, so that's an angle that she's taken. So I thought it is intriguing to understand how humor and wisdom together can work in a responsibility like parenting. Because parenting itself is challenging. It's not every day cannot be the same, and expectations cannot be met. And it is evolving, it is a work in progress, right? Even after the child grows, it is a work in progress. So typically that uh, you know until the teenager time is when that parenting demands both our brain styles. Okay, after that they become independent, and they hardly communicate with us, and their interaction could be demanding a different approach. But when she's going to talk about both these brains, the wisdom is actually both the brains. It is coming out of experiences. And humor is again right brain. So I was wondering how this angle would work. So when I did some background, I could understand that she is a career woman also. She was used to be an ex-actress, but then she's also into interior design and parenthood personality out there in social media, progressingly well. And she takes the creative approach, that is humor and creativity in writing and parenting, finding unique ways. So she is propagating that for busy moms out there. So let's see her brain skills, okay? So she is pretty good at structured planning for writing and organizing thoughts. So she recommends writing as indicating that recom- uh, writing can be a healing process, at the same time planning process. Okay, right brain approach is her imagination and humor in writing and parenting, that is helping her. Even in writing, she has made a lot of articles, and her book also will have these both coming in. So her right brain is pretty active. Okay, but with structured planning is when her execution of the right brain is happening. So she also strikes a balance by continuous structure with creativity in work and family life. She has multiple children, and then they husband and wife are both from entertainment industry with flourishing career and managing the family work really well. Okay. On that note, you may have a question as to where do you stand in creativity in parenting, in terms of handling your daily task, your time management, and family engagement, and so many other questions could be daunting for you. I have a tool for you in case you're worried about where do you stand, how do you want to assess. I have something called quiz bundles. Um, this is not just for any toddler mom only. It is for any woman who wants to apply their skill set to understand where do they stand in a particular episode that we are talking today. We have been talking about creativity for moms. Yesterday was an angle for creativity for entrepreneurs. So for each and every topic, there'll be a quiz given in this bundles. It'll be a 10 format quiz where one option, out of four options, one will be the correct answers. You can take that quiz. It's a fun way of testing your skills. Second thing is you'll also have tips for each and every questions, like not just knowing the correct answer, you'll also get some, improved tips on that. With that, you can access for all the 100 topics that we will be discussing. There'll be a space for you to access those quizzes together. Okay. But you would have to earn that by just sharing your story. Okay. All we expect is so far you have been listening to this episode. That itself is a great inspiration for me. If you can like this episode, if you think it's valuable, please do like and share it with somebody who needs this most, because that is what is important, that we don't keep it ourselves. The education expands in us by sharing it with others, and sharing is caring, because we're all moms and all of us are in work in progress. We do need each other's support. With that said, if you can share your experiences, how has your right brain helped you? And how has your left brain helped you in creating that parenting really fun and well? So, if you can share any hacks that helped you, I'll be more than happy to read it and share it with my audience. Okay. I'll pick your comments and give you a shout out, and we'll be able to share it with my audience immediately the next episode. Okay. That way, if you can engage in the comments, or simply you can write whatever you learned in this episode, that will also do. I'll pick you up and as a winner, and then give you 100% free coupon code to access this EQ quiz bundles. And if you are somebody who trying to learn more creativity hacks and something more about your EQ brain skills, I have a masterclass dedicated only for women who can come and learn how to fast track learning all these talents we are going to be talking in this 100 days. You can really fast track. You don't have to wait to complete it, and also pick up some cues about your own brain styles. So, what is your actual brain style? Are you left brain driven, right brain driven, or it's a combination? And what are your talents? Is really creativity your top talent? Those things that can be, derived via AI driven, globally accepted psychometric report. It is the brain style report. So we will talk with concrete data point. So the theory is all up here, but in the masterclass, it will be totally interactive. I'll tell you how to approach your brain styles, and how do you have the ability to read the brain styles of others. Okay. It'll be very interesting and fresh approach towards developing emotional intelligence. And it is all coming out for, moms like you and me, because you need to understand that having creativity is not the end goal. At the same time, it is not a rocket science. I say this for entire episodes in this series, that emotional intelligence is not a rocket science. It is not a research study. It is out there in us, around us. So you'll have to remember it's not a luxury also for only artists or successful innovators and all that. It is a tool that is going to make our life vibrant and be connected. Even as a busy mom, it is expected to spark that imagination, right? Because you will naturally become a creative person when you have a toddler, but why not sustain that even after the toddler becomes preteen and teenager? Why not keep it vibe, and why not have this creativity vibing in you all the time? Because it is helping when you keep your right brain active also, along with your logic brain. Then you are emotionally driven, emotionally intelligent, day in and day out. So that is the whole aim of the series. And nobody masters emotional intelligence also We are all in working progress, and we have to make sure that we are in midbrain, not too much logically driven, neither too much emotionally driven. So, all these strategies, I'm sure it will help you to build that necessary skill set in you. If today's episode inspired you, I would highly recommend you to give me a like and love and support, and also share it with somebody whom you think it is needed. I'll see you tomorrow with another interesting topic. Bye bye.